What's up, Kyuzou here, and welcome to my Elementalist DD Diary Part 2. So this is a continuation of a previous video, so I highly recommend that you watch that video first before venturing into this one. So I am now level 98. I have done 36 challenges. I have done all of the Maven's invitations. I have done, I believe, all the endgame content. The quad Shaper Guardians was surprisingly easy. They didn't really hurt much, and they were easy to avoid, and with Detonate Dead you pretty much only have to kill one, and the rest will follow. The quad Elder fight was surprisingly easy as well, although it helps to be shock and ignite immune, because Enslaver does have some nasty ignites. The quad synthesis bosses was pretty easy as well. Not really a whole lot to add there. The Breach Lords was a nightmare, however. The combination of Esh and Tool was a bit much. You have to avoid Esh's lightning balls and his discharge whilst avoiding Tool's massive, and I do mean massive, channeling AoE of his cold skill. Somehow I only managed to die once in this fight, and that's because I found myself face to face with Tool when he did his channeling, while at the same time standing on top of Esh's balls. Now, the fight of the century was definitely the combination of Cortex, Chayula, Uber-Atziri, Shaper, and Elder. I cannot believe I actually managed to complete this clusterfuck of a fight, but I will have to admit it was one of the most fights I have ever done. So you start off by fighting Atziri and Elder. So we have Atziri spamming her Storm Calls and Flame Blast everywhere, while Elder is doing his load up one-shot AoE and summoning a bunch of degen ads, throwing his tentacles around, and on top of that, Maven does her slow curse, and you truly can't decide who do you need to get rid of first. Then of course Shaper joins the fight, and with his beam and teleport slams, and yes, his clone is there too, along with his cyclone buddy Chayula. And we probably shouldn't forget the Cortex, because I did. His get over here ball attack sure got me by surprise, and by the end it was a huge clusterfuck of everything and degen literally everywhere. And then, of course, I attempted Maven. It was a very fun and well-designed boss encounter, in my opinion. However, the memory game needs to go. I and many other people really can't remember more than 3 sequences. I can deal with 3 sequences, but once it goes 4 and beyond, it is just straight up impossible. So this being my first time, I did some mistakes here and there. I failed the memory game, obviously. And then I lost a portal to a game crash. Fun times. So my first Maven bricked. I bought a new set, and literally the only thing I ever failed on again was the memory game. But somehow I completed the fight in the end. The third attempt was probably the worst of them all. I tried a different strat that kind of fucked up the whole fight, and once again I lost on the goddamn memory games. Right, so what's changed with my character since the last time? Well, I'm liking it as a boss killer more and more, even though I still believe Detonate Dead is only average. You need the double damage to proc, and you kind of need to get lucky with the Desecrate to do any big damage. Elementalist is, however, the absolute best class for mapping when it comes to Detonate Dead. Full screen AoEs all day. My weapon is sort of new. Got Fracture tier 1 fire damage, which is, something. We got +1 to fire skill gems, which doesn't really do that much. So I have a % fire damage crafted here, but I will actually swap to double damage, which will be, well, I can't really craft anything else here, but yes, this one. 13 to 15% chance to deal double damage while focused. Because I already have 14% chance to deal double damage while focused on my shield, so that would put me up to 30%, well, 29%, 28 29, 30, you know, kind of depends on what I roll here. Problem is it's going to cost me 2 exalts to recraft this, but I think that's going to be worth it. Got tier 1 cast speed on here, which I actually really like this, because that's like the one thing I miss from being a necro, is you get that extra cast speed whenever you consume corpses. I can't really remember the ascendancy quite well, but you get like 2%, I think, attack and cast speed per consumed corpses recently or something like that. So this really puts it on par with necro in terms of cast speed. So I kind of finished my belt. So this belt dropped, how did it drop? Cold and Lightning Rest as is, the life as is, the mana as is, the fire rest was like 16, and then I had, I think, Energy Shield on there as well. So I harvest removed the Energy Shield, I did add remove fire, hit the 36, good enough for now. I then Hunter exalted the belt to try and hit percent max life. I hit chaos damage instead, so I harvest removed the chaos and then did AUG life, and we hit tier 1 100%. So, you know, it's not all tier 1s, but it's good enough for me. I'm now running a Carcass Jack instead of my old chest piece. The old chest piece added something like 500 or 600 life. If I can remember correctly, I would be at, I think, 2900 energy shield and 83 or 8400 life. Double corrupted the chest piece, even though I couldn't really hit a whole lot of things for this to be better. Like +1 to gems wouldn't do me anything really, so the best combination would truly be increased damage with increased life. But the reduced damage taken is not bad. So I just simply could not resist the extra AoE and of course the extra global area damage from the Carcass. The passive tree has changed a little. I do believe my Anoint here is new, because I have this amulet. I actually got this amulet very early. It is more or less an exact copy of what I had previously. It's just that this one came with, this talisman came with Golem Commander Anointment, which saves me 1, 2, 3, 4 points, where I could put those points elsewhere. Decided to go for Sacrifice, just simply because I'm 98. You know, if I was 97, 96, or 90, you know, I'd still only go for these two nodes here. Getting rid of these here. Because I do feel you truly want the life regen. Your Spectres are gonna die pretty much every Double Beyond map, most of Delirium maps, but for the most part your Spectres will stay alive, strictly because of the life regen we get. We get 1% here along with some resist. It does help the golems too. For some reasons the golems life regen does not seem to apply to themselves. But you know, the golem dying doesn't matter that much, because we have Leech of the Primordial, so if my golem die, they're being automatically resummoned after 4 seconds. But if my golems are continuously dying, I am losing my ailment avoidance immunity. So it is nice to keep all of the minions alive. I was running with an Inspired Learning for a bit, because I got one early and I had it here. So I grabbed Blast Radius with Mystic Bulwark and the Power Charge and Prodigal Perfection, because you need four notables. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because it doesn't reach here. This and this is 20 points. Or rather, this is 3 points, but these are better 3 nodes for my build. This is also 4 points, so 4, 4. So that was the best setup for the Inspired. However, on tier 16 Double Beyonds, well, mostly just Double Beyonds, along with Porcupines, I would get chunked like mad. And you know, my only defenses is, you know, High Life Pool along with Mind Over Matter. and I needed some form of mitigation to add to the build. So what I decided to do was go down here and use the Vigil. So what the Vigil does is, with at least 40 strengths in radius, this is the only place I can actually have the jewel. I can't have the jewel here, which would be the other place for the strengths, because I need my Glorious Vanity in here to hit Corrupted Soul, and there's no strengths up here. It's not, I don't, no, there's no strengths up here, not 40 at least. So this is literally the only place on the tree where I can have the Vigil. So yeah, what it does is Vigilant Strike gives me and my allies Fortify. So get Vigilant Strike here. Now the problem is I would have to actually manually use Vigilant Strike to get the Fortify. So what we do is we use Generals Cry. So with Generals Cry, I don't know if you can actually... so with Desecrate we spawn some corpses, and then we use Generals Cry, and as you can see, I spawn some minions. Now these minions will use whatever attack is linked up to Generals Cry, and what I have linked up to Generals Cry is Vigilant Strike. So they will use Vigilant Strike and give themselves Fortify, but because we also have the Vigil will give me Fortify as well. The duration is actually pretty long. It is like 28 or 30 seconds, so we don't have to actually use it very often. Right, so I actually updated the passive building on the previous video in the comments, where I have this setup. I also updated to show the Inspired Learning setup, and I kept the normal version of no Annoints, because if you don't anoint Golem Commander, which is a silver and a golden oil, so that could be expensive. So if you can't afford that, you still have to travel here. Something to note, these 3 nodes here, I get movement speed and fire damage leech as life, and that is strictly because of Glorious Vanity. If I take out Glorious Vanity, these turn into staff nodes. So if you don't, I was gonna say, I mean, if you have the, not if you don't have the Glorious Vanity, but if your Glorious Vanity doesn't give you anything useful over here, you should definitely respec out of these 3 nodes. Also, I got very lucky down here, where Dynamo actually gives me life and life regen. So if these 2 nodes are shit for you, you definitely need to respec out of these 2. So that's 5 points you could spend elsewhere. Don't ask me where. You could go down for Juggernaut for even more life, honestly. You could, if you don't want to anoint the Golem Commander, you could still have 1, 2, 3, 4 points left over there. You could, well, honestly, you could get Blast Radius and Amplify, honestly. So you have a lot of options. So yeah, please keep in mind, if your Glorious Vanity does not change these 3 and these 2 into something really good, do get rid of that. So I realized I haven't really shown how this build clears maps. I haven't really shown that in this video or the previous video, so I'm going to end this video by showing you a random map. But first I realized my Spectres died last time I was logged on, so I'm going to go into my bank and get them back.